There are many great books and great speakers who talk about the topic of listening and how important listening is. For example, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The 48 Laws of Power, and The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And you have people like Stephen Covey, you have people like John C. Maxwell, you have people like Simon Sinek, who all share the concept of listening. And even in the book I recently did an insight on called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, where he explains negotiation tactics and how important listening is. I've understood through many books, and even I give the example of Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He talks about, in a second habit, seek to understand first, then to be understood second. Seeking to understand means that you listen to the other people sincerely and try to understand their perspective and opinion. I know I mentioned that I learned this tip from other books. However, I myself have learned to practice it through experience, and only later on, once reading books, I've learned that technique from authors who are able to convey it in a very clear way. Growing up, I moved to 3 different primary schools and had to learn the craft of communication with others. And I mention it like a craft of communication, like it's some big, grandiose, a spectacular thing, which I think it really is. As each time I moved to another school, I was in a different environment with different people. I quickly was able to pick up that the best way to be likable to others is listening first. So the difference between being likable and being known is that you become a likable person by listening to others, because generally people like to share their own lives. They like to talk, they like to share their own experiences because it makes them feel good. It makes me feel good to talk about the things I have going on, my past experiences, things I plan on doing. Those things make me happy when I express it to someone who is listening. That's how you become a likable person. You like the people that listen to you, and that is where I put the category of being a likable person. Being a knowable person, or someone that is known, is when you are on the other end of things, where you're the one talking, you're the one expressing your feelings, expressing your plans, your past, good moments, whatever it is. You become known by talking, you become likable by listening. That is why I draw the difference. Let me know what you think of that concept. Do you have your own concept? Put it in the comments below. I was quickly able to pick up the best way to be likable to others is listening first. It is the best in a way that is universal and easy to do. So it is universal. It could be applied to any environment. From my experience, I'm 22 years old now. I've never really been in an environment where people don't like listeners. Everyone likes a listener. And it's easy to do because you're just listening to other people. Of course, you're sacrificing time to talk and express yourself, but it's something easy to do. All I would do is ask questions about them and listen. Of course, a great way to show that you are listening is asking questions based on what they say, which further enhances that you're listening and you're engaging. However, I was more of a shy child, as I did not get to be around each school long, so I didn't learn how to be very comfortable with people. Of course, this is through my lens, and things may be skewed. Maybe when I was a child, I wasn't shy. Maybe I viewed things maybe I was more confident. Maybe in secondary school, I viewed my childhood different. But as of now, when I look back, I think I was more of the shy end. Obviously, when I think about other people that I grew up with, or they had that experience with me in primary school or secondary school, or even now, they may have viewed me as someone different, or they may have viewed me as the same way. But when I wrote this, March 1st, 2024, is a fair representation of how I felt when I wrote this post. This caused me to be great at listening and being likable, but not great at sharing and being known. So I was great at listening to others and becoming a likable person. Sammy's a likable guy, but I didn't really share much about my own life. The latter means that I didn't share much about my interests, family, skills, and passions. So that left no room for people to know me and say, Sammy likes this, Sammy is great at this, Sammy used to do this, so on and so forth. However, I was okay with that at the time because I never knew how long I would stay out of school. Having moved so often, I didn't know if I would stay for 3 years or 3 months. Of course, that was a contributor to that approach in communication, but there was definitely other factors that played in, and trying to remember that far back for me is something that is more difficult because I'm not someone who can remember my past. I can name people in my friend group who have great memory. They know their childhood the ins and outs. They remember times, places, dates. They remember it all in a nice chain. As for me, it's very much moment based. I don't really remember much. A lot of it's is kind of jumbled up in terms of my childhood, unfortunately. So I don't remember much in regards to how I was, how I acted, what I believed, what I did, and that's the honest truth. I know this turned into an insight into myself rather than the topic, but I hope this gives insight into why I believe this is the most essential tool to being likable. Now, this isn't the end goal of life, but it is a way to build a good reputation with others and leave a good impact, which is one of the most important things you could do on this earth. Have a good reputation and leave a good impact. The methods I would implement now is to ask questions that are open-ended, have follow-up questions ready, smile more, practice a lot, show genuine interest, be appreciative of their openness, and lead with respect and humility. You see that paragraph there? I believe you should write that and take that into action. Try apply those things and see how it benefits you. In my opinion, that's very, very beneficial because that's what I did over the past 15 years, let's say, or 16 years, and it's been something that's helped me. However, there is another aspect to building a connection with others. While being likable is great and builds a good reputation, you're only that one person who listened to what the other person had to say. So it's really only half. The other half is being knowable. This leaves no room for your personality to be expressed, and you will be remembered as a person who was nice but a forgotten face, name, and personality. And not only because the fact that this is my work, this is what I wrote, but because of what it says, it's so relatable to me. The fact that if you're someone who is a listener, you become someone who is the person who listens to others, but you won't be a remembered face. You are remembered as someone who was nice, but you're really forgotten about. That is why sharing is the other part of the puzzle. This will help you. This will make you known and help you build a new layer of trust and build a relationship with others. You will be remembered by your face, name, and personality if you are open and share your interests and experiences with others. I will go into this further at some point. If you are able to find a healthy balance between the two, depending on your scenarios, then you will stand out from the crowd, and people will be drawn to you for who you are and how good you are at listening to them. So, like everything, there is a balance. You need to find the balance between listening and talking and sharing your life. But you need to also know that there is the element of both and what both things do. What being a listener does to you and what being a speaker does to you. Understanding those differences gives you the opportunity to make the correct compromise and find the right balance depending on your scenario. I hope this has been beneficial. Understanding those two concepts is arguably the most important concepts when it comes to communication with others. And communication with others is one of the most important things in this world, because that's how we get things done. That's how we build societies. That's how we improve each other. So definitely work on these two aspects and try to just be a better communicator in general. When you're able to communicate your vision, when you're able to listen to others and engage with others, you're going to be a more pleasant person to be around. You'll find that you're more confident because you're able to express yourself and to have a good interaction with people. So there's definitely a lot of value there and a lot of benefits that can come out of this. So thank you very much for watching. I hope there's been a lot of benefit to this video.